Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Richard Okon. I'm a business development consultant with over half a decade experience in business development. So I work with entrepreneurs who are just starting out a business to turn their business idea into a viable business solution, or with existing businesses to expand their operations. And so today I will, in partnership with Ruth, be answering some questions regarding running a successful business in Nigeria. And one of those questions is, what are the requirements for running a successful business in Nigeria if you are just starting? So if you are just starting out, there are several requirements for starting a business in Nigeria, and it all depends on the kind of business that you're doing. But I'm just going to speak to it generally. So if you are considering going into business, one of the things that you want to know is, do you have a viable business idea? Because I noticed that in my experience working with people that just want to start a business, and they come to me, Richard, what are the lucrative business ideas? And I say there are no lucrative business ideas. There are only ideas that are solving problems. So you want to identify a viable business idea. And what do I mean by a viable business idea? Is a business idea that is solving a problem or meeting a demand. So in your society, your environment, you study your environment first of all, to identify what are the needs in this environment, what are the things that people are placing demand on, and but there are no people to meet those demands, or there are no businesses to meet those demands. But what are the things that people need? What are the complaints that people are? What are the things that people are complaining about in this environment? So you study those things and be able to develop a solution based on your capacity to meet that need. So the moment you have a business that meets a need, we call that a viable business idea. So one of the requirements is that you should have a viable business idea that meets a need or that solves a problem. You are not just driven by your passion, sheer passion just like that. There must be a need that is identified, and then you have been able to develop a solution to meet that need and place a price on it. That's what we call a viable business idea. So moving on from business idea, you want to be able to understand the industry. So one of the requirements for running a successful business in Nigeria is that you understand the industry that you want to play in. If you do not understand the industry, you will be a victim of it. So irrespective of the fact that you have a viable business idea, if you do not have a thorough understanding of the industry that you want to play in, you can fall a victim of it. So you want to understand who are the major players in this industry, and then how do they operate? How do they offer their solution? Do you have any innovation to what they are currently doing? Is there something that you want to add to what they are already doing to improve on it? You need to have a thorough understanding of this industry, how to run around it, and then how does the industry operate generally? You want to have a thorough understanding of that industry before you go in, because if you do not understand it operates, you just jump in with your solution and you discover that it's not just about the solution, but also a thorough understanding of the customer's behavior and also the market dynamics. So there are different forces governing the market. So you want to thoroughly understand for your own industry what are those forces that affects demand and supply in this industry, so that when you go in, you will not be in the business just discovering things that you should have known before delving into the business. And then when you have successfully done have a viable business idea, understand your industry, and then the industry you want to play in, have a thorough understanding by doing market research. So the next thing that you want to do is to look at the legal requirement for starting a business, which is one of them is have your business registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission. And then if you have your business registered, the next thing will be, depending on the kind of business that you are doing, you want to be sure that you have the appropriate licenses to operate. So if you're in the food industry, does your business require you to register with NAFDAC? If you're producing chemicals and all of those, is your business, do you have to get a certification from Standard Organization of Nigeria? What are the licenses? You want to go into the oil and gas industry, what are the licenses that you need? You sometimes, if you are doing manufacturing, you will need environmental impact assessment. And so all of those requirements, those are the legal requirements for you to operate, as a business, legal entity in Nigeria. So you want to know as it applies to the kind of business that you do. But number one is that you have your business registered with Corporate Affairs Commission, and then you go then to understand whether there are licenses for you to operate. So different industries require different licenses, So I can't speak to all of them right now because there are so plenty. If you're operating education, if you're producing product, depending on the kind of product, and then the agency regulating it, you might need operating licenses from those agencies. So be sure that you have all of this before you go in, because you don't want to go in and discover that you need these licenses, or you have need of this requirement, and you are not able to meet that requirement at that level because you're already there. And so another thing also is for you to understand the tax implication. What is the tax law governing the business you are doing? Some business have tax exempt and others do not. So these are the requirements that you need in order to run a successful business in Nigeria. Then I will add a bonus. This is not supposed to be it, but this is just a bonus to all of the things that I've mentioned. And that bonus is you need to develop a business plan and a financial model. This is where most entrepreneurs in Nigeria are missing out. So they just jump into a business, just do all the calculation in their head and they jump in without thoroughly writing out a business plan that covers every aspect of the business that they want to do, and develop a financial model that helps them to project into the future of the business, and then what are the things that they need, in terms of assets and then other operating expenditures to run this business successfully. So you need a good business plan and a financial model, which is one of the things that I do for entrepreneurs. So if you have this document ready, when you start, that's when you know how to deploy your capital. You know the things to acquire and the things to get, after some time in the business. So that is my bonus for you. And then the next thing will be, how to get the right talent to work with you. So if you're doing a business, it means you are not just doing something alone. You have others to work with you, and you might probably need technology. So what are the right technology that you need and the right talents, that you need to work with you? Your ability to get these things right determines whether you'll be successful or not in business. I hope that really helps you. If you have a question, you can drop it on the comments, and then we'll look at it together. So we're looking at another requirement for starting or running a successful business in Nigeria. Not taking your losses personal. One of the things I also advise is that one of the ways to reduce your losses is by proper risk management, and then proper or sound business decisions is one of the ways to manage losses in business, or to minimize it. To make proper sound business decisions and put proper risk management in place in order for you to be able to manage your business successfully. So then the final question we're answering today is, what are the parameters to measure growth in your business? And for me, it depends on so many factors. What does growth means to you in business? So for some people, growth in their business means the number of people following them, or the number of people that are aware of their brand. But one of the things that for me, working with entrepreneurs, like I said, is that you measure your growth by the growth in your customer base. So how has your customer base grew within a certain period of time? What is the trend of the growth? And what are the percentage of the customers that are retained? Like they come back, a particular, like for instance, what I mean is that you should be able to keep a record that shows the number of customers that return to you. So even if your customer base is growing, how many people are they just new customer every time, or they are returning customers also? So one of the ways to measure is you measure the growth in your customer base and your retained customers, and then also your customer satisfactions. So you measure that by feedback from your customers. So you know that your business is growing. One of the parameters is the level to which your customers are satisfied, and you can get that by feedback that they give to you. So you should prepare a mechanism for you to get those feedback from your customers. And then you also measure your business growth by growth in profitability, because if you're not profitable, you will soon go out of business. So you measure growth in your revenue, and when you measure growth in your revenue, you compare it to the growth in your customer base. Then you now measure the growth in your profitability. That's why for you to run a successful business, you need to have structure that keep this record. You need to have structure, that monitor this aspect of business. Otherwise, you just be in the middle of the business and realize that things are going south, and then you do not know what to look out for or what to look into to know what is the cause of what is happening to you. But if you keep appropriate financial record and business record, then when things are not going well, you should be able to look at your records and your financial data and be able to point to where the problem came from and be able to solve it from there. So I hope with all of this information and with these questions, you are better positioned to run a successful business in Nigeria, and then you know how to access finance, grants, or you know when to look for investors into your business, and then you know what are the things to look out for, to measure the growth of your business and how to handle losses. So these are some of the things that we have discussed, and they are very vital in running a successful business in Nigeria. And you need, adequate amount of, invest, like you need to be invested in this business, like in your business, in order for you to be able to do all of this successfully. So if you have any questions or any thing that you need help with, you can drop your questions in the comment or contact Ruth, and she can get the question across to me, and then I can answer some of them if it's possible. I have my handles, Richard Okon JP, so you can find me maybe on LinkedIn or any of those platforms. Richard Okon JP on Instagram and on Facebook, and Richard Okon on LinkedIn. So you can ask me your question directly and I can be able to provide answers to you. Otherwise, you can drop it on the comment box of this video, and then Ruth can share with me and then we discuss. Thank you very much, and I hope you got value from this video. Thank you for watching. So another question that I want to answer this afternoon is, at what point is it safe to accept investment into your business? So this is one of the things that so many entrepreneurs struggle with. So sometimes you want to start a business and you need some money to do the business. So at what point do you accept external investor into the business? From my experience working with businesses, I will tell you, one of the mistakes you may make is to, you just want to start a business and the first thing that you're thinking about is to where do you want people to invest in it. No, that's not the right thing to do. You, first of all, have all the things that we had earlier stated, as, the requirement for starting a business in Nigeria, have them in place, and then try to implement the business. So the right point in your business where you should accept investment is when you are at the growth stage. That means you are already meeting demand at the level that you are, or at your own level, but you realize that if you have more equipment, or you have more people working with you, or if you have some resources, you will be able to get more customers into the business, to patronize you or to subscribe to your service. Then you begin to look out for people to invest in order for you to acquire those assets or those resources for you to be able to meet those needs. So the right time is usually at your growth stage, or when you are entering the market, not when you are still developing the product or your service. No, but when you are either entering the market or you are growing. So you need those finances to be able to help you to grow the business, to take it to the level, to be able to meet the growing demand for your service or growing demand for your product. So it can be very counterproductive, for you to accept investment from external investors at very early stage, because you'll be struggling with meeting the demand of your investor, and then you are also struggling with growing the business. So the very good stage, in your business, like I said, is when you are growing and you want to meet further demand, or you want to scale your business. So then you can then look for people to invest in your business, and then the kind of investment also matters. But I feel the right thing to do is for you to attract investors that are also willing to share the risk with you. so the risk is not completely on you. And if you do not want to do that, or if your investors are not ready for that, and that means you should seek a financial advice in order for you to have a good investment into your business, not the one that will become a problem for you. So another question we are answering today is, what do you need to put in place in order for you to be able to access business grants? So there are organizations that are offering, grants, seed capitals to businesses. Grant simply means money that organization gives you for you to invest, to put into your business, to grow, to do whatever you want to do. So you are not required to pay back the money because it's a form of grant, it's a free offer. So this organization, they do this as their own part of contribution to business development in the society. So how do you position your business to get such, let's say, a free offer of money for your business? One of the things that you need to do, especially when you're starting, because most of these grants are for businesses that are very early stage, they are just starting. So this is one of the things that as a business you should be able to look for. If you are starting and you do not have, you have limited resources, instead of running to investors, you should be looking for grants, to give you that head start where you could just, be able to get the initial things that you need, at the idea stage. So most grants are for business that are at the idea stage or just trying to enter the market. So they have already tried to develop their product and they need these funds to be able to do so successfully. So one of the requirements is that have your business registered. You need to have the business. The business need to exist as a legal entity. So you need to have the business registered. And the other thing is that you need to have some financial record. So if you are just starting, you have a financial record to show that you are creating as a business. So it's not just something that you're doing anyhow. So, but some other grants doesn't necessarily require you to have any financial record. But some that wants to invest huge amount of money into your business may require you to have some level of financial record to show that you exist and you've been doing business before now. And so if you have a financial record, the next thing might be, they also need you to show proof, or to show some traction. So one of the things that you need to do to position yourself is keep account of the successes that your business is achieving. Keep account of your achievements, keep account of your growth, and then document them. So those documentations are some of the things that you present to this organization to show that you are already doing the business you're doing and you are making some level of impact. And then the other thing is that ensure that your business align with the goals of the organization offering the grant. So oftentimes organizations have they have their own reason for giving the grants to the business, and they have some kind of business that they want to give this grant to. So be sure that your own business align with their goal, and beyond that, you should be able to articulate your solution. So this is where most people have issues. You have a business that you're doing, but you cannot articulate or tell someone about your business idea in such a way that the person can be able to relate to what you're doing. So you want to be able to articulate your business, your solution, and then how you are deploying the solution, your vision and your mission. So your ability to be able to articulate this is what positions you to win business grants. So a couple of those grants exist. You have Tonelu Melo Foundations. You have so many of them. They are very plenty. So it's just for you to do some work. Go on the internet, find out grant that exists for businesses, or subscribe to businesses that offer such news or information. That's where you have information about these grants. But they are very good for you if you're just a graduate that just finished and you're looking into starting a business. These grants is something that can give you a very good stance. Another question that I will be answering today on this episode of this business discussion is, how do you handle losses in business? Losses in business is one of the things. So you can think everything right, you do all the things right, and then you started your business, you understand your industry, you have gotten all the licenses, and then you go into the business, and then you still experience losses. So many things are responsible for losses in business. There are some that are within your control, but some are absolutely outside of your control. So you do not want to take losses personal, right? So one of the ways to handle losses in business is do not take losses personal, because losses are part of business. That's why there is a section, a part of a financial statement when you're doing financial reporting that they call profit and loss accounts. The reason is that profit and loss are just a part of a business, and they are part of business, so you cannot separate them. Before you experience loss, you may experience profit. Before you experience profit, you might either experience loss. But you cannot say that you will run profit all through your business. No, you will experience losses. So it's just a matter of when. So when you understand that losses are part of business, and then they are not, it doesn't make you a failure, but it just shows that you are a human being and you do not have control over all the factors of business, including customer behavior. Customer might just pull out of your business because of negative thing that someone just said. So you do not have control over everything. So many disasters, natural disasters are causes of losses. So many things are responsible for losses. So you do not want to take losses personal. Rather, take them as part of the experience as a learning curve in your business. So you learn from your failures, you learn from your losses, and then you grow from there. So very important, don't take losses personal. Understand that losses are part of business, and no matter whatever you do, no matter the level of your team, you will experience losses, and so they are part of business. They are not alien to business, so do not take them personal.
That was a very rich session. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to our channel so that whenever we post interesting and educative content like this, you'll be the first to know, okay? All right.